Thank you all for coming out this evening. The first piece you heard was Appalachian Morning by Robert Sheldon, and that was actually a commission of the Phi Beta Mu Bandmasters Fraternity in the state of Kentucky. It was a commission for Dr. Sheldon, and it was actually world premiered by one of the all-state bands in 2007. Our next piece is another one of our pieces that we performed for the KNDA District 2 Concert Festival, which this ensemble attended in late March. And this group received distinguished ratings from all four adjudicators, which is the highest rating that a concert band can get. These guys did a great job. So that was a really wonderful day. So we're going to play our other selection from that program. This is Double Happiness by Joseph Curial. Go through a little stage change as quickly as we can here because we've got our Red Steel Ensemble and our jazz band up next. We're going to do a little shifting around, so we'll be back in just a minute.
doing is actually a kind of medley of three tunes that you probably never think go together, but it goes together pretty well. There's a show on HBO called Treme, which is all about the music in New Orleans, and it's actually post-Katrina, so it's like how people are surviving, the musicians down in New Orleans. And this first song is called Treme, and it's based off the theme song to that show. The second tune that it goes into, I'm sure you'll recognize, When the Saints Go Marching In. And the third tune you may recognize, it's a 1970s tune by the Meters called A Pocky Wet. So I hope you enjoy.
Next, we're going to have the jazz band up. Both of these groups meet after school for about an hour, hour and a half, 2 days a week. And we have just a great time. We learn all kinds of tunes. And you can see that some of our musicians even choose to learn, pick up secondary and sometimes even tertiary instruments to be a part of these groups. While we're kind of making a little switcheroo here and getting the jazz band settled in, we have to move around a few stands and some gear. We'll make a couple of announcements. Right after this, we've got some cake from Rolling Pin down in the cafeteria. We're also going to pass out a few awards and have a few laughs as we wrap up our year. So we invite all of you to come down there and join us. We've got plenty of cake. Please come eat it. And then also tomorrow evening is, of course, our graduation performance. All the students have to be at the Owensboro Sports Center at what time? 4:45, that's right. The ceremony starts at 7, and then we should be done around 8:30 or a little later because we do some check-in. Also, any students who have their personally owned instruments, they need to go home with them for this summer, so we can do some inventory things next week and after that. So if you would please make sure that your kid brings home their horn for the summer, that'd be great. So we're going to get jazz band rolling down here. We're going to play a couple of tunes first. We're going to lead off with a Horace Silver tune called Moanin', and then we're going to end with a swing chart called Jumpstart. Johnson on piano, Joe Hamilton, Mary Lou. And here's Scott. That really interesting piece that calls for just a ton of percussion, actually calls for a dozen percussionists playing. The title Foundry comes from they're playing found percussion instruments, so we have pots and pans and an old trash can and everything else back there, pieces of wood that we just found. We like to sound up to fill that out. He doesn't really give you any specific, not very many specific instructions on exactly what percussion instruments you're just supposed to use, just what they're made of. And so you just kind of find different sounds there. John Mackey's kind of one of the avant-garde composers today, and he's got an interesting thing if you're into the business end of things at all. He actually owns his own publishing company, markets himself through that. He and his wife, that's what they do. He has very expensive commissions, but like that piece was paid for by about 10 different schools. They all go to different festivals all over the country and play his pieces, and more people. Just a guy that's using the internet in a way to really spread his music around and make quite a healthy living for himself. But to introduce our next piece, we're going to play a great standard for the concert band, featuring our very distinguished retiring middle school band director, Mr. Danny Humphreys, on the trumpet. And we also have our fine orchestra teacher, Mr. Greg Olson, sitting there with us on bass. This is really another gem of the work that's stood the test of time for over half a century, but featuring Danny Humphreys on trumpet. This is Trumpeter's Lullaby. there are a lot of folks that will tell you, that will say to you that it's not a band concert unless you play a march. And so we're going to end with one of the great ones, by the great. Fairest of the Fair is one of John Philip Sousa's greatest marches ever written, and it was actually written for a convention of the Chicago Grocers Association. They commissioned him to write a piece, and he wrote a piece and brought his band there and performed it, and it turned out to be a real winner. And interestingly enough, we don't actually have any recordings of the Sousa band. He would not allow his band to be recorded because he thought, hey, if people come record me, there's no reason for them to come pay to listen to me anymore. So that's an interesting little side. So one of the great marches, John Philip Sousa, Fairest of the Fair. thanks again, and you all are invited to come eat cake with us and down in the cafeteria. So we're headed right there right now.